Hi there. It's Thursday morning, second week of Lent. Um, Strange morning. It looks like the sun's out now, but earlier this morning it was seriously overcast. Um, and it's begun. Well, it didn't begin as a strange day. Thursday began as a normal Thursday for me. One of the things that I do is I volunteer at a food program in our cathedral, and we help distribute food from 8 to 9 on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. And I work on Thursdays. And I usually get up early because I don't like to just get up and go. I like to, ease into my morning. And so I got up around 5:30, and it was a good morning. But when I got home, I was just overcome with exhaustion. And it wasn't long before I fell asleep. So, and I'm still feeling tired. Like if I wanted to, I could lie down and go to sleep. So that's how this day is unfolding for me. It's kind of different. So let me say hello to those who have joined me live. And for those of you who are watching the recording, welcome to Reflections with me, your host, Chris. And yeah, I hope it's fun. I mean, I'm getting a lot out of it, and I enjoy sharing myself. So, yeah, be that as it may. Today is also St. Patrick's Day, and he's a saint on the church calendar, and so we celebrate his day. He's also one of the co-patrons of the Cathedral of the Blessed Sacrament here in Sacramento, California, along with Our Lady of Guadalupe. They're the co-patrons. Maybe that's got something to do with it. Maybe it's just the weight of the celebration, and it's coming in the middle of Lent. Normally, what happens is the bishop suspends the Lenten obligation. It's not an obligation. But our Lenten practices of fasting and all that stuff is suspended so that people can celebrate St. Patrick's Day with, corned beef, the traditional stuff, good glass of Guinness, which I think may be in my future. Who knows? I don't know. Anyway. And so the normal ordinary time readings for Thursday aren't read. And we hear readings from or for St. Patrick's Day. So let's go ahead and take a gander at it. And let me just take this reflections off. See, I'm learning. And now we'll go to the actual reading. It's a little bit longer than we may have shared before. Let's take a look at it. It's from Luke, and it's a story that Jesus says to the Pharisees. My guess is that Jesus is speaking in a public arena, and there's probably all kinds of people listening, but he's addressing the Pharisees directly. So in I think it was yesterday or the day before, I forget, they all sort of mushed together. Jesus is talking about the Pharisees, but he's not addressing them directly. He's talking to everybody just in general. Here he's directed directly to the Pharisees. And he tells a story about a rich man and a poor man named Lazarus. Now, Lazarus, here we go, was lying at his door. He's covered with sores, and he would gladly have eaten his fill of the scraps that fell from the rich man's table. And then dogs even used to come and lick his sores. When I read that, I immediately thought of the Syrophoenician woman who comes and begs Jesus for a favor. And he doesn't, because she's not of Jewish descent. Let me get rid of this here too, so I get more room. There we go. She's not of Jewish descent. And she says, even the dogs get the scraps that fall from the table. So I got to thinking, could this be a little bit deeper here? Could we see in the rich man, the nation of Israel, and in Lazarus, the Gentiles? And let's keep looking. When the poor man died, he was carried away by angels to the bosom of Abraham, which would be interesting if he was a Gentile, because that's not what happened to the Gentiles as far as the Jews were concerned. This would be sacrilegious here. The rich man also died and was buried, and from the netherworld, where he was in torment, he raised his eyes and saw Abraham afar off and Lazarus at his side. This would actually be telling the story of the nation of Israel being in torment while the Gentiles were in the bosom of Abraham and being comforted. Very interesting. So the rich man calls out to Abraham for some water, and Abraham replies, "My child." Okay, who are the children of Abraham? The nation of Israel, the Jews. Another little clue. I mean, I could be completely wrong here, but I find this very interesting. And here's the scenario. This is the closest thing that I think Jesus ever really gave us of the afterlife, but this is the afterlife pre-resurrection, right? So that for the longest time in Judaism, there was no afterlife. You die, boom, that's it, gone, history, light out, right? And then over time, they began to get this idea of a life after death, that there was some realm we went to. So here we go. There's a chasm. There's a deep chasm between Abraham's bosom and the netherworld where the rich man was located, where he was being tormented. And there was no way Lazarus couldn't cross over to give this guy some water. So he tried to make another deal. He said, send some to my father's house, to my brothers, so they don't, make the same mistake I have. And what was the mistake that Lazarus had? The rich man. So we don't get the rich man's name either. I find that interesting. Anyway, what was his mistake? His mistake was ignoring Lazarus. It wasn't that it was even beyond denying something from Lazarus. He was totally ignoring him. Let's go up here. Let's see here. It doesn't say, but I don't know whether this is told. It's probably told in other synoptics, the story. But I get the impression that he just steps over that. Lazarus is lying at his doorstep. He's just basically stepping over Lazarus, not acknowledging him. Lazarus isn't calling out, but he's not, just a bad situation. He's being ignored. That's his big mistake here. And he wants to warn his brothers not to do the same thing. Abraham's response was, they have Moses and the prophets. Basically, they have the Hebrew scriptures, the Tanakh, the Torah and the Tanakh. And that by listening to them, they should have gotten all the information they needed as to how to behave. And then the rich man says, "Oh no, Father Abraham," because that's like, nope, that's not enough. Send some from the dead and they'll repent. Abraham says, if they will not listen to Moses and the prophets, neither will they be persuaded if someone should rise from the dead. There's just a lot here to unpack. And you know what I did not do prior to this? I didn't look up what the meaning of the name Lazarus is. Let's do that right now. And we can do it this way. Let's see. Let's get the address here. Luke 16, 19 through 31. Okay. So we're going to switch gears here. And we're going to go to the website. This is the interlinear, right? We get that pulled up here. There it is. We'll share that. Now it's what was it? It was Luke 16. Okay, so we're going to go up here. We'll type in Luke 16. Luke 16. And you always put a colon after the chapter. And what were the verses again? 19 through 31. So let's do that. 19 through 31. Hit return. There it is. Okay, Lazarus. Let's pull this up. There it is. You click on Lazarus, and boom. It's a name. Of course it's a name. But what does the name mean? Gosh. Well, let's just see. Does it mean anything? I'm going to go look it up. Got my trusty iPad right here. Let's look it up real quick here. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, we don't need that. Yes, I see you. And we're going to do Lazarus. Whoops, stop it. Lazarus. Lazarus. Meaning. And see if it means something. Here we go. It means God has helped. That's what it means. It comes from the word Eleazar, the name Eleazar. So Lazarus means God has helped. And in this case, the guy is not helping at all. So let's go back. Well, we don't have to go back. Let me just share with you here. So what's the point? So I'm not a Pharisee. I'm not a religious leader. So what's the message for me? You know, talking about whether, you know, the Jews and the Gentiles, maybe that's in there somewhere, but does that apply to me? And maybe it does. Maybe it applies this way. It applies this way. That when we think that we're rich, you know, Jesus said, I've come for the sick and not the healthy. And he was talking to the Pharisees. They thought they were healthy. They didn't realize they were sick. They thought they were healthy. If you think you're rich and you don't reach out to those that appear poor, especially those who are not a part of your tribe, then you actually risk separation from God. It's a strange thing, but think about it. That's what he's talking about here. The rich man, by not sharing his wealth, even just the scraps, with Lazarus, ended up in separation from God. But here's the kicker. Here's the kicker that I think about. The chasm between one side and the other. And as I was thinking about it, I saw a mental picture. And in between the chasm, I saw a cross descend. And the two arms of the cross stretched and created a bridge from one side to the other. From one side to the other. And so for me, it's that focus on the event of the cross, which we're heading into soon, within a month or so, and seeing that the self-giving of Jesus as the Christ brought people together for the purpose of sharing with each other. And that out of my abundance, even my overflow, looking at the needs of the world, the needs in my backyard. So that's what it means to me today. To pay attention, open your eyes, look around. Where are the needs? Maybe there's somebody that I've walked past every day and not really noticed. I need to notice them. I need to pay attention, keep my eyes open. So when I'm out and about, that's what I'm going to do today. So I thank you. I thank you for being with me today. I thank you for watching the recording and sharing. Oftentimes people will share with me. That's awesome. And so until tomorrow, be well, be safe, be happy, and God bless.